fifth row, we have Sudip Jhagar and Harshit Jaiswal. Both of them are information security analysts. So hi Sudip and hi Harshit, nice to have you both.
Hi Soshna, nice to meet you.
So welcome to this video on VAPT or vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. In this today's digital era, we have to keep our data in safe and secure zone. And with this latest technology and top-notch security solutions, you no longer have to worry about malicious threats and cyber attacks. So Harshit, can you please give us an introduction on VAPT?
Okay, so good evening everyone. This video is about VAPT. So we'll talk about the phases of a VAPT, what's the process and what are the tools required in VAPT. So basically VAPT stands for Vulnerability Assessment and Pen Testing. And the whole process is divided into majorly 3 steps. That is vulnerability assessment, pen testing and reporting. So today we are going to cover the first part, that is vulnerability assessment. Today we are going to cover vulnerability assessment. So Sudip Jhagar today will show you how to do vulnerability assessment.
So in vulnerability assessment, there are 2 parts. It's all about reconnaissance and scanning. So in reconnaissance, we do some active passive. So all about, if we are taking about the overalls, so there are 2 types of vulnerability assessment. So it's active or passive. Where passive, we use showdown, like there will be already results or data or info about the target or any server or any network. And in active, we do the communications with the network or the server to bring out the data which we need to exploit. So in the vulnerability assessment, we will do the passive thing. So in passive reconnaissance, we use the showdown. So in the showdown, in the Google, we have to write the showdown and it will be coming here. It's a search engine where we search about any IP addresses, particular IP addresses. We write many IP addresses and we can search about how is there, what is in particular time lapse, what kind of ports were open, what kind of services were running, what kind of vulnerabilities were present. And getting that information very crucial, because if we get that particular data, so we can explore that particular ports, if that is still open or not. So we can get such information using passive reconnaissance in the vulnerability assessment. So we can use IPs. If you write IPs, so there are many IPs, and we can currently we will be using practicals a private IP, but majorly in showdown we try to give public IPs because it's publicly available over the internet. So there are many IPs like 90.12.90.168. It's a class A IP. So we can use that. We get many data from it, where stored in showdown databases. Like there are many open ports, 80, 137, 443, 445, where if I give a brief introduction about the 80 ports and 443, Apache server, NGX server is hosted on port number 80, and if it's a HTTPS or SSL encrypted server, so it is mainly hosted on 443. So these are there are many ports, we get many information about it. For example, it's hosting an Nginx server, not like Apache server. So it's a good server, it's using it, and there are many we can see SSL versions, and they are using certificates to validate the encryption. So apart from that, we will coming on the active scanning. That is very crucial in the vulnerability assessment. So we will be using a tool called Nmap. So what is Nmap? It's a networking tool, mainly called as a network mapper, where it sends the packets to the server and get the information. Like if I send a packet to the port number 80 of a target server, then I guess if he sends a response, so it means the port is open. So by sending various type of packets, SYN packets, ACK packets, finish packets, RST, like a reset packets, we get many information that are well informed in the CISA part. So how we will be doing the scan? How normal guys does a scan for the VA, vulnerability analysis. So how will we do Nmap? We'll be using a SV, or you can literally use a -A. What is -A? Nmap, -A is the aggressive scan. So it comprises a -SS, that's a default SYN scan, and -SV, that's the service version detection. So we'll be using both, and there are many techniques that we using in the -A, that's a aggressive scan. So after using we will get we already have a DA machine, that's a deliberated vulnerable machine. So it's a metasploitable tool. You can download it in Google. Okay. So we will getting an IP from it, and it's a 192.168.174.120. So after coming to this, we will writing it, and it's like -8.1968.1. Okay, that's a problem. It's not saving. Okay, 174.128. Okay, 174.128. So after hitting the enter, you can see like Nmap will be doing a scan. It's also showing the tag as when you did the scan. So when we are coming to the Shodan, it's also did the same thing. Shodan already have a vulnerability scanner where it does all the such type of scan, TCP scan, SYN scans. So it does all that stuff and bring out the open port. So we'll be verifying such things from our target machines. If all that ports are open, which services are running. And from the VF, we mainly focus on the versions number, service versions number. For example, the scan is already completed. There is an aggressive scan. There are a lot of data. It's all about active scanning, where we already interacted with the server and get those crucial information where we can exploit that area. So, for example, one of the VA, I can show you like 21 port. We can see the 21 ports is running a FTP server, and its version is FSFTPD 2.3.4. So it's a service and it's a version. So we can try in Google, we can search in Google how which vulnerability are exploitable in the VSFTPD. But there is a bonus point in the -A, where it's using the default scripts present in the network mapper, which we are calling it Nmap 2. It's already showing a vulnerability that is anonymous FTP logging.
So what Sudeep has said is basically the most important thing. Like using the active, there are two types of information gathering, active and passive. So Nmap is one of the tools used in active reconnaissance, that is vulnerability assessment. So as we have scanned a vulnerable system, so we can see the result of the port numbers, and as Sudeep said, the port number 21, which is a TCP port, it has a vulnerability of anonymous FTP login allowed. So this was all about vulnerability assessment.
So I hope all of you have understood what they have explained, and keep connected with us. Please subscribe and stay with us. Keep follow our Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter and Instagram account. That's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.